Downtown Georgetown is one of the biggest reasons people move to Georgetown, Texas, because it gives the city something a lot of fast-growing Central Texas markets just don't have anymore, a real historic core. One that still feels active, useful, and tied into everyday life. But here's a part that a lot of people miss. Downtown Georgetown isn't just a square, because a few blocks in different directions can completely change whether this feels like a true walkable lifestyle, a close-by convenience, or part of a great town you visit once in a while. When you zoom in on downtown Georgetown, a very clear story shows up. And that's why in this full downtown Georgetown tour, I'm breaking it down for you. Why downtown Georgetown just keeps pulling buyers in. We're gonna look at which parts feel the most historic, which parts feel the most active day to day, and which nearby spots actually add the most lifestyle value once you live here. We're gonna talk about the real trade-offs that show up after moving in, like event traffic, parking. I'm Stuart Sutton, and I help people moving to Georgetown get really clear on which part of the town fits their lifestyle, their routine, the way they actually want to live day to day. So they don't just end up buying a house here, but they end up being in the right part of Georgetown for their daily lives. Okay, let's head into downtown Georgetown, and I'll show you the spots that really shape how this area feels on the ground. Now we are truly one block off the square, and looking for a parking place is something that was not everyone's favorite pastime. As people looked for a place to park, they wasted time they could be enjoying the downtown square. Now, the downtown square in Georgetown, voted the prettiest in Texas many times over. Now, you're going to see the courthouse on the right, and then we're going to drive the other direction and see all of the businesses and the coffee shops and the boutiques and everything that's there. So you usually don't see fencing around. The fencing is around to allow the grass to grow at this time of year. But typically what you see is people hanging around on the lawn enjoying themselves. Now we are here on a Friday afternoon, which is not typically as busy as a weekend, but it's typically busier than a regular weekday. I've mentioned this on other occasions, but this just does not ever seem busy. Unless, of course, you have an event, which all of Georgetown loves, an event like the Christmas stroll. People that come to Georgetown and move to Georgetown enjoy what Georgetown offers. Just about everybody I talk to makes the square a part of their lives. So we've kind of made the circle so that you could see what the square is, or what the courthouse looks like. And I don't know that my camera angle is going to get you to the very top, but you'll see the dome from other angles, from other views, other videos, other pictures. So I'm going to do what is called off the square. And I'm sorry you can't see to the left, but I'm going to tell you what we have. We have the Baked Bear custom ice cream sandwiches and the Galaxy Bakery, and they are both fantastic. You've got 600-degree pizza, considered the best pizza in town, maybe the best pizza in just about any town. So as I travel here real quick right through and out of downtown, you're going to see a couple of the businesses that are just off the square. I'm about to approach the City Post, which is a famous high-end restaurant. Used to be the post office, as the name sort of alludes to. And as I pass along here, you see that people eat outside, people enjoy the weather. This is called Sweet Lemon. It is very popular, very highly rated. Everybody tends to love it. This area is a big draw, and after we kind of look at the area, we're going to look at some of the housing. But first, one more trip around the square, but looking at the opposite side. You can see that you've got a wine bar, a coffee shop, a real estate office. Don't look at the real estate office. I'm just kidding. And one thing that I found is that in a lot of areas around Georgetown, around others, traffic is kind of crazy. People are unpredictable. For some reason around the square, they tend to be real careful. At least that's my experience. And you can see the businesses all along. Then you have again, people outdoors enjoying themselves. You've got clotheries, you've got antique stores, you've got eateries, and there's a place right here that is famous for its salsas. It's got a variety of salsas called Mikey V's. Probably not fair that I don't mention more of the names of the businesses since I mentioned that one, huh? So as we move along here, we're going to go a block or two off of the square and start looking at the housing. There's two kinds of houses in Georgetown near downtown. The old saying goes, I don't think it's that old, but the old saying goes that there's those that have been remodeled and those that are going to. So if you like picket fences and the beautiful aesthetics of that hometown feel with the picket fence and the covered front porches, this is truly an area that will provide that. It's not lip service. It's not a rumor. It's not a myth. It really does have that. And in downtown Georgetown, I say in downtown, in the sector around downtown Georgetown, the low end, we had a house sell for $250,000 last year. We also, on the top end of that spectrum, we saw a sale for $1,150,000. And that particular sale was over 3,700 square feet, that home. So you've got a variety of housing in the downtown area, there's no doubt. The variety goes everything in between. Now, just so you know, most of the housing in downtown ranges from $600,000 to $800,000. That's for the most part. You can find homes on either side of that. No worries about that. You'll see houses like that one, and you'll see houses like that one. So everything in between. Most homes in the downtown sector will be in the 2,000 square foot range, 1,800 to 2,400, something like that. You will see larger homes, as I've mentioned. You will see smaller homes, as I've mentioned. But again, you can drive down the street, you can see a home that has not been remodeled and is probably going to be. And you can see homes that have been remodeled and beautifully done. Now, there are a few homes in the downtown area that are brand new. In other words, the lot was scraped and the home was built from scratch. And that is something also. So I basically crossed 29, and we're going to look at some of the housing. And as you travel along these streets, which are tree-lined, shaded, you see some just beautiful remodels, some magnificent homes. Now, the highest dollar per foot of any home that sells in Georgetown are historic homes. The second highest dollar per foot of home that you see sell in Georgetown, Texas, are remodeled homes, older homes that have been remodeled. So again, you're going to see a lot of the similar type of scenarios that we see on the downtown, right around the square sections of housing. You're going to see homes that have been beautifully remodeled. You're going to see homes that need to be remodeled. Well, we're going to go see a couple of more sections around downtown because it's important to really grasp what is going on in the downtown area if Georgetown is where you want to be. But let me emphasize again, people that don't live in this area also spend time in this area. And it's fair to say that one of the big draws for Georgetown is the downtown sector, just because it is usable. It's something that can be part of your life. It doesn't have to be an everyday thing, but it certainly can be if you want it to be. Downtown isn't that far from, well, pretty much anything in the Georgetown area. Now, we used to play this game when I was driving around with my family, and that is remodeled, not remodeled, remodel, not remodel. And you can see what I'm talking about because you do see homes that fit both of those categories as we drive along. Now, some people call this walkable. And again, depending on your willingness to get out and walk, it certainly could be. But it's really a very, very easy drive. But you can see what I'm talking about by you have some amazing houses that have been remodeled beautifully, and you do come across some that certainly have not. But that old downtown feel, that old 1950s, 1960s charm is absolutely common throughout this area. I mean, so common to just feel like you might see Aunt Bee and Andy and Opie on the front porch with Andy strumming away on his guitar. Now, a lot of people ask about the downtown real estate market, and the downtown real estate market is a little more volatile. A few months ago, it appeared to be quite strong. At this particular time, it doesn't appear to be as strong as the markets outside of the downtown sector. There's about an 8-month supply of homes on the market right now, but that is certainly going to change. And as I said earlier, the price per square foot is one of the highest in Georgetown, simply because of the old location factor. The trade-offs of living in this area, of course, have to do with traffic. So now I am on the west side of the square, and this particular area is interesting as well because there are homes that are being remodeled, and some beautifully, some extraordinary homes in this area, but there's also quite a bit of infrastructure on this side. The new county courthouse building is on this side. Public library is on this side. And again, you can see that we are seeing a lot of remodeled homes in this area. Now, a lot of these homes have actually been converted to commercial businesses. Again, another lovely little remodeled house that happens to be a business. So as you can see, this is the public library. Library. I was raised in West Texas, so all of my pronunciations aren't what they should be. But you can see what I mean by some lots have been scraped and brand new homes built. And this is some of what you're seeing here. While some homes have just been nicely maintained and not necessarily remodeled, but nicely maintained. The building you're seeing on your right is the new county courthouse. That's where all the courthouses are, the jail is. And you can see the need for parking garages certainly exists because here is another very spacious parking garage. Now, you've probably heard of a blue hole. I'm going to tell you that as we drive there, it is not quite as impressive as it usually is, and that's simply because it's not quite as full of water. This is the Palace Theater's Performing Arts Center. Everyone pretty much has heard of the Palace Theater who lives in Georgetown. To the right is a restaurant called El Monumento, which is sitting right here on the banks of the river with some lovely outdoor seating. Now, you're not going to be able to see it in its entirety, but the blue hole is right up the way, and you've got the water coming over the waterfall. And when the water is at a higher level, that is simply a beautiful sight. And just a few months from now, you will see that with lots and lots of people along the banks. And you see people heading to the blue hole right now. And we are now heading to San Gabriel Park. Now, this bridge is under construction. You can see how the water is not flowing quite as much as typical. It's a little drier part of the year. But the bridge we just crossed is under construction. It used to be one lane each way, and while under construction, it's still one lane each way. When done, it will be 2 lanes each way. A huge improvement and something that I think we're all grateful for, and certainly didn't mind waiting for the construction to be completed. Now, there are 2 forks of the San Gabriel River. Neither one of them are large rivers, as a lot of people might expect, but they are small flowing rivers, and there are some areas of the San Gabriel that are large enough that people can float down them. San Gabriel Park is pretty much a known amenity in Georgetown. It is over 180 acres and includes just about everything you can possibly imagine that a park would have. And the river runs right alongside it, so it is really a lovely sight. San Gabriel Park. You can see that we're approaching it, and I will slow down just a little so that you can see that. San Gabriel Park is a beautiful area and hosts lots and lots of events. The 2-Step Inn is considered one of the foremost country and western events in the nation, and Georgetown attracts about 70,000 people to Georgetown for that event. And I'm sure you can see as I drive along on the right, you do have pavilions, you have benches, you have playscapes, you have open spaces. It's just a very cool scenario. Again, the river runs alongside, and I believe as I get closer, you'll be able to see that. San Gabriel Park is a great place to bring families. There's also a community center here, soccer fields. You can see the extent of the land, just lots and lots of open space. I've got a German Shepherd who is a fantastic Frisbee dog, so space like this is something she just absolutely loves. So we continue right along San Gabriel Park, and you can see from this vantage point a little easier how the river runs right along the park. And again, so many things: picnic tables, pavilions, swing sets. It's just a lovely setting. And across the river is where we just came from a while ago. Again, the trail system runs throughout much of Georgetown, Texas, and certainly through this park area. And as we travel the other direction out of the park, you can see that there are lots of sports fields within the park, as well as a community center. You've got Little League fields, baseball fields, soccer fields. You've got a very large playscape. A lot of people ask about amenities for people who live in the downtown area, because master plan communities obviously have pools and parks and pickleball courts and things like that. The community center has an extensive array of amenities. Fantastic, as a matter of fact, fitness center, basketball courts and pickleball courts and swimming pools. It's really a cool scenario. It might be of interest to you. I've got a spreadsheet that shows what different areas of Georgetown offer so that you can identify where pickleball courts and golf courses and fitness centers exist. Just reach out to us if you'd like a list of all the neighborhoods and what they offer. We'd be happy to send that to you. So as we travel back toward 29, we are approaching Southwestern University. We're seeing Southwestern University on the right, and I apologize, I'm having to drive a little faster because this is a wider road and the speed limit is a little higher, and I don't want to get people upset with me. So I'm driving a little faster, but we do have Southwestern University on the right. You do have a feeling in the Georgetown area of, that student population. Although it's not huge, it certainly does have impact. And the population of Southwestern University is probably in the 12 to 1400 range. It is the oldest university in the state of Texas and certainly proclaims that at every opportunity. And the student population does have an impact on different things around town, businesses and churches and things like that. But Southwestern is a lovely campus, and it is just a part of the downtown Georgetown community. Or once again, I'll just say downtown adjacent, if you will. As you can see, although it's not a large university, the campus is lovely. You do have your typical fraternities and sororities on campus, as well as student housing that's adjacent to the university. If you're thinking about moving to Georgetown, Texas, and you want help figuring out whether being near downtown actually fits the way you want to live, give me a call, text, or email. Everyone seems to have their favorite, so use whichever you prefer. Text, call, or email. Also, feel free to use the link below to set an appointment. Or if you like, the link in the description below lets you schedule a quick call with me. I'm Stuart Sutton. I help people moving to Georgetown, have for over 30 years. I help you make smarter decisions based on lifestyle, location, how each part of town works for you, so that you can understand what makes sense for your routine, your goals, and your price range right now. Whether you live downtown, in a master planned community, or on an acre outside of Georgetown, the downtown square is probably going to be a part of your life in Georgetown. And no, you may not meet Andy or Aunt B, but you'll certainly meet people who are just as nice. I hope to meet you soon, and remember, it's your choice, so make it a powerful day.